Hey everybody, Mr. Sulik here, posting a virtual lesson or potentially a lesson that you could work on in class depending on where you are at with the rest of your work. This assignment is titled Tinkercad Tutorial Number 2, Scaling Objects, Workplane, and Rulers. So as I'm doing this video, I'm going to be bouncing between three different tabs. The guiding learning document over here, the obviously Tinkercad. So right now in your video, what I would do is pause the video and then open up Tinkercad to a blank work plane. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and do that right now. Okay, and then the third tab is this one right here. This is where you're going to actually put your work that goes along with this assignment. So I'm going to go back to Tinkercad and I want to edit my grid. What you need to do is get into the habit of editing your grid on just about everything that we do, okay? And the first thing is that we want everybody to be consistent with is we want to make sure that unit of measurement that we are using is inches, okay? The width and length, if you were to print this object, always needs to be 6 by 6, okay? All the work planes, with the exception of one of our MakerBot printers, is larger than 6 by 6. But in this case, since we aren't printing, you can just keep it. But if you ever need to make an adjustment, you would go 6 by 6 there. Okay. So just out of habit, I'm going to change this to 6 by 6. If you'd like to do the same, great. If not, not a big deal. So I've updated my grid. I've got it in the correct units of measure. I always change this to 1/4 inches too. Okay, just a little bit easier to work with. So first thing it's asking me to do is I want to resize my object. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, resize your object? It did like that 100 times already. Well, you didn't do it this way. At least I don't think you did. So I pulled out an object or a shape. I call them objects, and shapes are really interchangeable. But in this particular instance, rather than clicking and dragging my boxes in order to change the dimensions of this, I'm going to use the functions over here. So first things first, I'm not going to touch radius because that really doesn't apply to this lesson, but steps. Okay, steps in essence is as I move things, it would multiply times 10. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to change this to 1 by 1. So I'm just going to simply click that to 1. Okay, and where it says length, I'm going to change that to 2. So notice how that changes. I'm going to change the width to 2. And I'm going to change the height to 3.5. So it's no longer a cube, okay? It's more of a rectangular box. So from here, it should read 0, 1, 2, 2, 3.5. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. At this time, what you would do is either click Send To and then save it as an image. Or what you might find is a little bit easier is just to do a screenshot. Now, my screenshot command is going to be a little bit different than yours because I'm working off a Macintosh. My screenshot needs to include the information here as well as the image. That's why I moved the object over. I'm going to save that image. Okay, save it to my computer. And then I would put that image, I would insert that image into this box. So walking you through the steps, and again, my process is going to be a little bit different than yours. I'm going to click Save. I just save it right to my desktop. I'm just going to put 1 here. And then I'm going to take that image that I created in Tinkercad and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to go to Image. I'm going to upload from my computer. You would do the same thing because you're uploading the image from your computer. And then click Open. Okay, again, I did that as a screenshot. You certainly could use the Send To function, download your design just like I showed you in class on Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so done with part 1. Moving on to part 2 now. I'm going to take that image off. I'm actually going to do things with 3 images just for consistency and just for ease. I'm going to use boxes. If you'd like to use a different object or shape, that's perfectly fine. But I'm going to pull out a box and I'm going to use the copy, paste, copy, paste. So I've got 3 boxes here. 1, 2, and then 3. So this object here, I'm going to move where it's halfway above and halfway below this work plane. This particular object, I'm going to keep on the work plane. This object, I'm going to raise it 1 inch off the work plane. Okay. In order to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to click the front function. I'm going to go do this first one. I'm going to click the cone. And the clone, what it does is it allows me to move this object vertically, okay, otherwise known as the Z-plane. So I'm going to move this down, and I want to have it go 1/2 inch below the work plane. So half of this box is above the work plane, half of it's below the work plane. I'm going to keep this on the work plane. This one, this object, I'm going to raise 1 inch off the work plane. So I can kind of eyeball this and is it above? Yeah, it looks to be above. Or what I could do is just click this, go 1, and you can see it's a 1 by 1. So this one's halfway below, this one's right on, and this is 1 full inch above. At this time, what you need to do is do a screenshot or download an image. Okay, again, one other time, I'll just walk you through this. Take this image area, okay, click save to, just so I have a file name referred to, and I'm going to go to here, and then I'm going to put the image right into the next box. Okay, so 2, done. All right, so again, I'm going to hit home, clear these boxes off. There's probably a faster way to get all the images off the boxes. I can't remember it off the top of my head. If you do remember, go to the comment section, share it with the class. All right, so my next item that I need to work and do is use the work plane and ruler function. Okay, this is going to go real quick. So I'm going to go back to Tinkercad. I'm going to work out a box. Okay, and let's say I wanted to use the ruler function. So I would click the ruler. I'm going to bring it out here. Okay. And let's say I wanted to find, if I click onto that box, it's going to give me additional measuring tools. Right now, it's not going to be all that beneficial, okay? But you will find as we work with multiple objects, that'll become more beneficial, okay? So now you know how to use the ruler. So if I call upon you, hey, pull out the ruler and do this, that's exactly what you do, okay? So right now, keep the ruler out. Take a screenshot that includes the ruler here, and then apply that to, oh, I skipped ahead. Apply that to example number 4, okay? We're going to come back to example number 3. So put that image into example number 4. All right, so let's, now when I want to get rid of the ruler, all I do is click ruler. It'll takes the ruler off. Let me get rid of that image, okay? And let me pull out a box here. And what I want to do next is use the work plane function. All right. So in the work plane function, all right, I'm going to pull out a different object. So for instance, this roof here, I'm going to put that in the middle here. Okay. And what this function allows me to do is it allows me to tilt the work plane so I can work off of the side of an object. Okay. So I'm gonna move this off to the side. Let me move and put a flat box here. I'm gonna adjust the sizes a little bit. Here, bring this down a bit. All right, so you don't have to do the exact dimensions I just did, but just serves as an example. Now what I want to do is I want to move this where I have a work plane so I could put this on top if I needed to. So right now I'm just kind of guessing, okay? So now what I'm going to do is take this work plane and apply it to the side here. Come on now. All right, so this allows me to work off the side, okay? So as long as you showed, now what I could do is move this above, like so. For this has kind of gotten a little bit messed up. All you need to do is show me that you know how to apply a work plane in a different angle than it is at originally. Okay, so that's all you need to do for this. Don't worry about the shape so much, just be able to work the work plane. So I do a very good job of explaining that. So go ahead, take a screenshot, and then put that into the work plane section, example number 3. All right, let's go build something now. So I'm gonna zero out my work plane, get a blank work plane here. Okay, hit apply. All right, and what we're going to do here is you are going to build a basic house. Okay, now the dimensions are up to you. Obviously, it has to fit on the work plane. Okay, so I'm going to come here. I'm going to pull off a box. I want to build. I'm just going to keep it relatively same dimensions. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a roof on top of that. Now, right now, it's hidden behind because it's not raised up. So what I want to do is move that up, hit front, twirl it around a little bit here, get this so it rests right on top of my box. Okay, now I could use the alignment tool that we used before. Okay, and we're going to get into more of that, but I just want to eyeball this. I'm going to keep it pretty easy, but the roof, okay, should extend beyond the walls of the house. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to stretch that box out a little bit. Okay, so it still fits on top of my roof or on top of my house, but it goes over so the water doesn't run into the windows here. Okay, so notice how it's a little bit bigger. I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to use the alignment tool. Nope, not that one. Just that one. All right. So if I look at the front, I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. All right. So it rests right on top. Oh, easy for me to say. All right. So I got my little house here. I want to make it one shape. So I click and I match them up. However, let's say I didn't want to make it all red. So I'm going to go to multicolor. So it allows me to have multiple colors within that object. Okay, and again, so I went and I created a new object. This tree is treating it currently right now, it's treating it as two shapes. Okay, I'm sorry, as one shape. I made it into two. Let's say I want to, when I select this, I'm going to go to solid. I'm going to go to multicolor and allows me to, this is not one shape, but part of the roof of the house is going to be green and then the base is red. From here, go ahead and take a screenshot and then put your house right here on the final one, which says your turn, become a master builder. Anyway, that's it. That is the assignment. When you are finished, just submit it through Google Classroom and you're good to go. Please let me know if you have any questions.